Battle is, do I acknowledge Christ is my king or not? Do I acknowledge that he is my master or not? You can like what he has to say all day long. Good for you. The battle is, what do I think about Jesus? Is he my master? Is he my king? So with that in mind, watch this next phrase. Verse 3, Jesus knowing, there it is again, that the Father had given, watch this, all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going back to God, rose from supper. He laid aside his outer garments, and taking a towel, he tied it around his waist. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel that was wrapped around him. Note that phrase. All things had been given into his hands. All power had been given into his hands. All authority, all wisdom were given to his hands. Knowing that these same hands that have all power, that have all authority, that have all wisdom, all those things have been placed in his hands. Knowing that those same hands were about to be pierced and nailed to a cross and scarred. Knowing that other people's hands were about to brutally beat him publicly in front of everyone. Knowing all of that, he chose to take those same hands and pick up a towel. That's what he chose to do. On his way to the cross, he chose to pick up a towel and serve. Not a sword. That's not what you see Jesus choosing to pick up. Not a sword, not a scepter. Jesus chose to pick up a towel. Like, one of the most stunning things about Jesus is how he never is motivated with self-interest or selfish ambition. Like, Jesus is never motivated in self-interest or selfish ambition. All power, all authority, all wisdom, all goodness is in his hands, and he takes them and he uses them to heal and to serve. Like, let me just tell you, that is so unlike me. I don't know if you read that and you're like, oh yeah, that's totally me. I was just doing that the other day. That is so unlike me. I don't do this. I want to use my power. I want to use my authority. I want to use my wisdom. I want to use my strengths to serve me. That's what I want to use those for. I want you to use those to serve me. That's why I have them, right? That's why I have power and authority and wisdom and all these skills that I might develop. I have those things to serve me. That's why God gave you your talents. That's why God gave you your abilities. That's why God gave you all these different opportunities that you have, isn't it? For you to serve yourself. Like, this is what I want us to do this morning. Just for a moment, look at your King. All power, all authority, all wisdom, everything in his hands. The night before his crucifixion, he chooses a towel. That's what he chooses. Not a sword, not a scepter, a towel. How often do you use these hands to serve and benefit you? How often do you use your hands to serve and benefit you? Man, just for a second, focus your mind on Jesus and go, wow, what a king. What a king we have. In verse number 6, he says he came to Simon Peter. I always love it when Simon Peter gets introduced to a story because, like, the dude, like, just is flying out there. He doesn't think, he just talks. And I don't know anybody like that. I've never seen a person in the mirror like that at all, right? I love it when Peter gets introduced to one of these stories. So he came to Simon Peter, who said to him, Lord, do you wash my feet? And Jesus answered him, what I am doing you do not understand now, but afterward you will understand. Peter said to him, you shall never wash my feet. So just so we get like the quote really clear from Peter, Peter looks at the King of the universe and goes, no, like, not going to happen. right? And just a real transparent moment, me too sometimes. Me too sometimes. I can read the scriptures. I can see something that Jesus is telling me to do. I can feel moved to serve or love or say something or do the right thing. And there's a lot of times where I go, no, I'm not going to do that. I relate a lot of times with Peter in that way. So keep on in verse number 8. Jesus answered him, "If I do not wash you, you will have no share with me." Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head," right? So a little bit of overreaction there, which again, I relate to that sometimes. But as much flack as Peter gets, and I think it's all deserved, watch it, his desire is for Jesus. Like every single time. There's plenty of times in these interactions with Jesus. Actually, so what's funny, Judas gets like led by Satan to betray Jesus, but Jesus actually calls Peter Satan, like earlier in the story. Like, so Peter has a rough go of some of this, but his desire is always for Jesus. Hear me. You are not going to be perfect. You're not even going to be good sometimes. Like, you're going to say all kinds of stupid stuff that you shouldn't say, that aren't really thought out. But when you do screw up, when you do say stuff that's dumb and you shouldn't, listen, rebound. Like, what I love about Peter is he is the master of rebounding, right? No, you're not going to do that. Well, then you can't have any part of me. Well, then wash all of me then. That's what I want to do. And so when you're not perfect, which you're not, when you're going to blow it, when you say stupid stuff, just rebound. Don't beat yourself up. Keep going. Now, I want you to see this next passage. Jesus makes a theological statement about bathing, which is pretty interesting. In verse number 10, it says, Jesus said to him, still talking to Peter, "The one who has bathed does not need to wash, except for his feet, but is completely clean." Mark that phrase, is completely clean. "And you are clean, but not every one of you." For he knew who was to betray him. That's why he said, "Not all of you are clean." So talking about Judas, he says, "Not all of you are clean." But zero in on that phrase, completely clean. I love that that's how the scriptures phrase that. When Jesus is speaking, he says, "You are completely clean." I want every single one of you to hear what I'm about to say as a declaration directly to you. If you have acknowledged Christ as your Lord, as your Master, as your King, if you have turned away from wanting and demanding your own way to follow his way, if you've received mercy and love and forgiveness from him, hear me, you are completely clean. Like, you are completely clean. You are completely clean. Period. End of story. You are completely clean. Guilt and shame wants to creep in and steal that from you again and again and again and again. Every time you screw up, every time you miss the mark, every time you do something and it's out of selfish ambition or you wound someone else and you know it happens, guilt and shame wants to come in and steal that from you in an instant. Listen, Christ has made you completely clean. And I know what goes on in your head. You say, "But I've done this. But I've done that." But it's not like just something that I did a long time ago. Like, I did this yesterday. I'm doing this today. I have this planned for tomorrow. Like, there's no way I'm completely clean. Listen, like, what does Christ say about you? If you don't need washed, if you've believed him, you are completely clean. Receive it. Don't fight against it. Receive that love and forgiveness, what he says about you. In verse number 12, when he had washed their feet and put on his outer garments and resumed his place, he said to them, and here's our question for today, "Do you understand what I have done for you?" Do you understand what I have done to you? That's a big question, huge question. I think it's an incredibly poignant question. These guys did not have a clue yet what Jesus had done for them. And let me just say, me too sometimes. Me too sometimes. Like, here's a question. Are you aware what God has done for you? Are you aware of it? Or do you get distracted? Do you lose sight of it? With everything that wants to take up space in your mind and in your heart, when was the last time you slowed down to awaken the awareness to what God has done for you? And if you haven't, hear me, it's probably not that you're just radically ungrateful, that you're just a radically ungrateful person. It's more likely that you're just distracted. Like everything wants to come into your mind and pull you and distract you. Everything is fighting for your attention. When was the last time you allowed yourself to be reminded what God has done for you? And in this context, in this story, he had washed their feet. In verse number 13, you call me teacher and Lord, and you're right, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and your teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you should do just as I have done to you. Washing feet was a normal practice then, right? Folks had dirty feet, which, by the way, folks don't just have dirty feet then. Folks have dirty feet now. I just went roller skating with my daughter yesterday for her 10th birthday, or her 8th birthday, 9th birthday. Nailed it. She's not here. You tell her I nailed it on the first one, okay? So we went roller skating yesterday. Boy, I took those roller skates. There was heat. You could feel the heat coming out of those things, all right? And if you had them on too, it would be the same, right? So washing people's feet was a thing. But these guys walked everywhere, right? And it's something, by the way, it's something that they could have done for themselves. It's something that they probably have done for themselves over and over again. It's something that if someone was wealthy enough, they'd pay a servant to do that for them and for all their guests. And when I read this passage before, if you're like reading this passage and you're like, I don't know, this is kind of weird. I used to think it was super weird too, mostly because I was young and dumb and I didn't really understand what this passage was saying. But listen, you can wash your own feet. That's true. You can wash your own feet. You can pay someone else to do it. Maybe some of us in here could pay someone to wash all of our feet. Maybe you could do that. But listen, this passage isn't about that. But that's not what this passage is about. It's about, are you the type of person to choose to do this for other people? Would you be the type of person to choose to do this for someone else? You say, Brian, are you talking about like literally washing each other's feet right now? Is that what you're talking about? Like, hold on. It's been a Christian practice since Jesus gave this example. And I think that's for a reason. And I think the reason is this. If you would go as far to wash someone's feet, you'd probably love and serve and care for one another in plenty of other ways too. If you would go as far as to wash someone's feet, loving and serving and caring, being invested in the people around you that make up this family, like you'd probably go as far to check up on folks and to be present in people's lives, to love and encourage each other on to good deeds, right? You would probably do that. So am I talking about washing each other's feet like in real life? It's awkward. It's awkward, I know. You probably don't like the idea of someone washing your feet. I don't know. And maybe you do. Maybe you're into that. And if you are, that's a whole nother sermon, another passage of scripture for another day, okay? That's not what we're talking about today. It's awkward. I get it. But hear me. That's why he said it. That's why he said it. Some people will hear this and will think like, man, I would never do that. I would never wash someone. I would never let someone wash my feet. Like he picked the thing that no one would want to do unless they had a humble heart that was eager and ready to serve other people. That is the point. It's awkward and weird on purpose. He picked the thing that no one would want to do so you would have a humble heart to love and serve other people. Verse number 16, watch this. He says, truly, truly, I say to you. By the way, if you ever are reading the Gospels and you see that phrase, truly, truly, I say to you, maybe it's a different translation. The King James is, verily, verily, I say unto thee, right? But if you see this phrase ever, like really zero in, because Jesus is really trying to get your attention to hear this part. He says, truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent them. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them. if you know these things, blessed are you if you do them. There are plenty of things that you and I know to do that we don't do. And I love the brilliance of Jesus to end his teaching like this. Like, hey, are you the type of person who sees needs, who knows something or something that should be done, or you see something and you go, man, somebody should really do something about that? You ever had that thought in your head? Man, somebody's got to do something about it. This is awful. Well, this person, you know what they need to do? They just need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and do this thing for themselves. You might look at a situation and say, man, I really don't have the time or the will to do this, but maybe to soothe my conscience, I'll give something to just help for a moment. Like, listen, it's a trick we play in our heads, as if acknowledging our problems, as if acknowledging the problems or even the opportunities around us is virtuous enough that we don't actually have to get our hands dirty. It's a trick we play in our minds. If I just acknowledge it, then that's virtuous enough. Well, I at least know that that's a problem. Well, I know what they ought to do. Like, if there's a problem in our world, if there's a problem in our city, if there's a problem in your family, and you know what should be done and what could be done, but you don't act, why? Why? Why don't we do that? Like, hear me. It's not that Jesus loves you any more or any less. Like, he's like, I really love the foot washers. Like, and if you're not a foot washer, you're team B, like you're JV. Like, that's not it. Like, it's not that Jesus loves you any more or any less. His love for you is without condition. He loves you anyway, right? What he's saying, though, is he's saying there is so much more for you. I have so much more for you to see, for you to experience, for you to do in the world. There's so much more for you if you're willing. So let me just say this, and this one might be a little abrasive, and maybe I'm talking directly to some people in here. Stop trying to come up with excuses not to serve others. Stop trying to come up with excuses not to do good. Stop trying to come up with excuses not to serve others and just to do things to benefit yourself. I hear you. I'm busy. I have a lot going on. Here's one that might creep in your head. They don't deserve it. I'm busy. I have a lot going on. They don't deserve it. I'm dealing with my own issues. Let me just highlight again where this passage takes place. On his way to the cross, he stopped to wash the disciples' feet. Even Judas. Even Judas. Like, this is our King. I'm going to ask Kyler to come up as we finish. Like, what if Jesus asked to wash your feet? What if that's what happened? What if somehow on your way home you have this miraculous moment and Jesus asks to wash your feet? How would you respond? Can I tell you? Like, he has done so much more for you than that. On the cross 2,000 years ago, when he poured out his own blood to bring you into his family. When he said, you can have my perfect record and I'll take all your sin. Give me all of it. And I'll give you my perfect record. It's yours. He did so much more for you than that. And just so you know, like, I'm not advocating for you to open like a foot washing stand on the corner or anything like that. Like, that's not what I'm advocating for you. I'm saying what Jesus did is he gave us an example. And he said, you should do just as I have done for you. So here's where the rubber meets the road. You are going to be faced with 1,000 different choices this week. You're going to be faced with 1,000 different choices in different interactions, in different relationships, when it's inconvenient, when it's awkward, when you have your own problems, when you have your own issues, when they don't deserve it. You're going to be faced with 1,000 choices. And when that happens, I'm asking you to choose the towel. Choose to pick up a towel. Not a sword to have your own way and have everything for yourself. Not a scepter so the whole world around you thinks that you're important. In these moments this week, you're going to have an opportunity, and when it comes, choose the sword, choose the towel. Serve like your king has served you and serves you now. Man, even now, when I'm in my sin, when I'm in shame or guilt, do you know what happens when I quiet my mind and my heart? When I dive into the Word for a moment, when I lift up my head in prayer, He meets me. And He says, "You're my son. I love you. I'm pleased with you." So, but I haven't washed a whole lot of feet recently. I've been picking up a sword or a scepter so people know I'm important or so I can get my way. He says, "I love you anyway." And today is another opportunity for you to choose the towel. So with your heads bowed and your eyes closed, I'm going to ask you first, commit to following Jesus. He said, "Do you know what I've done for you?" If you're not a Christ follower, if you've never turned away from your sin your own way and turned to Him for freedom, for forgiveness, then you can do that today. There's no magic words that I lead you in. It's an acknowledgement of the cross, of going, that is my King. That's what He's done for me. Completely clean. If you want to commit to following Christ, you've never done that before, I would love to talk with you. I would love to pray with you. Say, this is what following Jesus is. Maybe you need to follow Him in baptism. We have some baptisms that we're scheduling upcoming that we're going to do down in the pool. If you're like, man, I'm interested in being baptized. I don't know what all that is, but baptism is a public declaration. My old life is gone, my new one is here. And you might say, well, I've done that before. It's like, well, do you need to do it again? You need to make that declaration again. My old life is gone, my new one's here. Commit to follow Him. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is commit to being changed by Jesus. Your life is not about instant gratification. It's not about serving you. Live with eternity in mind. You say, I don't know how to do that. You have to be changed by Jesus. You're not going to white knuckle your way into every single conversation and go, I'm going to live with eternity in mind. That'll last you 10 minutes. It's Jesus that changes us from the inside out. Commit to be changed by Jesus. And the last thing is commit to the mission of Jesus. Choose the towel. This week, every one of us are going to have the opportunity to choose a sword, to choose a scepter, to fight for our own way, to look important, or you can choose the towel. Hey, be like your King. Lord, we love you. God, we are grateful for your goodness and love to us. God, I don't deserve it. I can't earn it. You freely give it to me every morning. Grace and mercy and love and forgiveness. So that I can stand and know I'm completely clean. When you look at me, you see your Son, who you love, who you're pleased with. God, thank you for that. Thank you for in this moment when we look into the scriptures, on your way to the cross, the example that you give is to serve, is to not be focused on ourselves, but serve one another with a humble heart. God, would you make that alive in me? There's so many times I just want my own way. When I'm focused on me and what I need. God, make me alive to see the needs of other people and not just acknowledge it, but be willing to get my hands dirty. Let it start in my family, with my friends, Let me begin there. And then as you begin to work in me, you begin to serve through me, it can overflow into the people around me. Jesus, we love you. We love you. We love you. We worship you this morning in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. You guys stand and worship with me.